Now I want to move on to Pak Wasisto Raharjo Jati to talk more about the domestic politics, probably the sort of political constellation. Pak Derajat just mentioned about that the cabinet formation will have to wait for the legislative composition. My question to Pak Wasis will be on what will be the sort of political constellation, and also I think importantly will be how the relationship between Pak Prabowo and Pak Jokowi, because without doubt Pak Jokowi has contributed a lot in bringing in a victory for Pak Prabowo. But before you start, I would have to introduce Pak Wasisto. He's a researcher at the Research Center for Politics at the Indonesia's National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN. This is formerly LIPI, right?
Yes, one of the holding institutions.
Yeah. He holds a bachelor's degree in politics and government studies from UGM and a master's degree from the Australian National University in political science. Yes. Please, Pak Wasis, if you can sort of brief us on what's your take on the next political arrangement for Indonesia.
Thank you, Pak Taufik, for the invitation, and Jakarta Post for having me as one of the speaker today. And speaking to the upcoming political constellation, I believe that the constellation will be not easy, because as we may know that there is a differentiation, the result of the presidential and legislative election. So this means that there is a divisive political line between DPR and Istana in the coming years. And for the constellation among elites, I think that yes, as Pak Derajat mentioned earlier, that the winning parties would like to invite all the parties to join, and I think this is a typical of winning party to embrace all the parties, and it signals the winner takes all will be applied. But I think this is also a signal how uncertain opposition would be in Indonesia. I think that's the brief glance of upcoming Indonesian politics. Can I start my next? Okay. So for the introduction, I would like to explain the Indonesian democracy level from 2006 until 2022. So as you can see on the screen, we can see that Indonesian democracy has been in flow of democracy. I mean, the score is between not less than 6 and not higher than 8. So this means that we are in the moderate, not going to bad, not going to good. So it is the moderate level. And this means that Indonesian democracy still need more improvement, especially in some participation, some good relationship between state and society. So that's maybe in the my second slide. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, that we are not going to the full democracy status because there are 2 points that I would like to mention here. Why we are not going to the full democracy, but instead we are still in the flow democracy. We can look at the 2 factors. The first one is freedom of civil expression, and the second one is political culture. So as you can see on the screen, that the score is less than 7. So this means that there is some improvement to do so. For the freedom expression, we can see that how the commitment of corruption eradication roughly deteriorated, and then how the political participation, especially in social media, we often get bullied if we speak different opinion. So that's the two simple and humble example how democracy at the grassroots level is still going to be declining gradually as I studied in more literature. And next. So speaking on the political landscape in the public space, so the past election in 2024 has shown that we are having split ticket voting. That means that we have different preferences between presidential candidate and the parties. So, and this is unique for Indonesia because previously we have a cocktail effect that uniform the vote for the presidential and legislative. But now in Indonesia, currently that we can see that the party for the coalition is higher. Meanwhile, the vote for the candidate could be higher or be lower. So that's the signal how we can see that the split ticket voting has been apparent in Indonesia. And for the Pak Anies and Pak Ganjar side, I believe that because they both have militant voters at the grassroots level, so I think they could be a populist figure at some point. Could be a watchdog for the government or maybe extra parliamentary populist figure. So that's my point. And next. And how about the elite constellation? We can see that the winner of the legislative coalition, according to quick count result, is PDIP, and the rest is the Gerindra and also Nasdem, PKS, and so on, and many more. And we can see that the big coalition can dominate the DPR in the upcoming legislative seat, and only leave a little space for the opposition, because as I underscored before that the strong intention for the winner takes all always imminent in Indonesia, especially for the ruling power. So that's my notes. And the second note, I also focus on the newcomer parties in Indonesia. So since 2014, there is absence for the newcomer to get seat in legislative seat in DPR. So this show that rather than securing seat in the legislative council, the newcomers tend to endorse candidate, tend to support candidate in order to get a seat in executive power. We can see, for example, PSI that secure the first minister for the land department, for example. So that's the example. So, and I think being opposition in Indonesia is neither idealistic or maybe at least option, because in Indonesia, as we know, that being opposition is a hefty price to pay, because we cannot access state resources, we cannot access policy-making process. So I think the upcoming government, I think, also would like to adopt winner takes all, to embrace all parties, to make a stable government. But I think this is also raise a big question for the opposition to rise, because in normal democracy situation, the opposition is still needed to control, to watch the government, what will be going in constitution, what will be issued in policies. So that's the example. And next. So this is the projection for the Pak Prabowo presidency in the upcoming administration. So as we can see on the composition of the parties, all the parties that has been in advanced Indonesia coalition leans to center and center right. So as I heard from Pak Derajat presentation before, he strongly advised for the market and the populist policies and so on. And this confirmed my analysis that that maybe Indonesia under Pak Prabowo presidency would like to be pro-market, social equality, and national-oriented policies, because the main ideology for the parties that in coalition could strongly at the center to the center right. So this is the ideological position, and also I think we are not certain about the PDIP position in the upcoming upcoming administration, whether would be joined to the government or would be stay out of the power, becoming a opposition. We are still need uncertain yet. So that's the big question. And next. And this is also my projection that maybe I already did. I think Pak Prabowo and Mas Gibran already have an agreement to have power in VP and also presidential job. And the big question is for the Pak Jokowi, whether he would be a mentor for his son or maybe an advisor for the upcoming government, because he still left. He still have a legacy to run, especially capital city transfer and also mega project that still may be run under Pak Prabowo. And one thing that I want to underline is we should aware of the current Philippine case that show the rift between Duterte and Marcos. And next maybe. Yeah, so we can clearly see that in Philippine politics now, there is a dispute between President Bongbong and also Duterte. So as we can see that the vice president of Marcos is the daughter of the Duterte. So this could be a projection or maybe a mirror for us to understand whether the alliance for Pak Prabowo and Pak Jokowi would be going to be Philippine case, or maybe we can not following up the Philippine case. So that's the uncertain condition that we have in the upcoming coalition. And the source especially is the policy reversal. So we are not sure that once Pak Prabowo is inaugurated as the elected president, whether he should adhere the commitment between Pak Jokowi and Gibran, or maybe he has sole power to run the government. So that's the uncertain question. And also I think the Philippine case, the dispute between successor and the former president is the mirror for us to see how far the Jokowi Prabowo honeymoon will be going in the upcoming government. I think that's wrap up my presentation, Pak Taufik. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Wasis. I think it's very interesting to see that there are room for optimism. You mentioned that PDIP will likely stay in the opposition. I think that's going to be good for our political system, because we need opposition. But on the other hand, problems could arise, especially with the fractious nature of the political coalition in the coming years, because not only that you have big personalities, Pak Prabowo, Pak Jokowi, and other major players, but you also have a fractious political system. You have mentioned deeper into the issue. I want to start with Pak Wasis, especially, well, at the end of the day, there will be just one president, and Pak Derajat mentioned just now about that Pak Jokowi will likely have a greater role in politics. And you have, given the example of Marcos Duterte.
Yes.
And you seem to believe that it's bound to happen. And my question, in fact, will focus on the consequences. If those kind of conflict or rift happens, what will be the sort of situation in the coalition? Can we question the stability in the future about this government? What is your take on that? Because this will likely be a certainty.
Yes.
No,
No, I mean the possible coalition between Pak Jokowi and Pak Prabowo.
The RIF, I disagree. But well,
They will have
different
collaboration.
opinion, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But the RIF, no, they have mutual needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the friction rather than
friction.
rather than the revenge is a full statement. I would say, and well, I think for the next administration, the role of Pak Jokowi in the next administration depends on what the special function he would like to be in charge in the next administration. Would be a special advisor, or would be a like Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, minister mentor, something like that. So we are not sure yet. But the main thing is Pak Jokowi is not having our own parties. So that's the big chunk if we want to compare with Philippine case, because Marcos has own party. Duterte has own party, so both parties are competing. But in Indonesian case, Pak Prabowo has own party. Meanwhile, Pak Jokowi is an ordinary cadre of PDIP. We are not sure what kind of maneuver he would like to then for the next political constellation would be fully retired, or as we speculate would be an advisor, or maybe fill his own party because he has many followers in the grassroots level. And if the friction happen, I think it's not going to be deteriorated, but I think it's stable because Pak Prabowo in charge to control and to manage all the parties to be in the single command. But one question is for Gibran. Is it he would like to be do same job as the VP, or step aside as from the all business in the government? Because we can clearly see that in Indonesia context, the position of VP always in the second seat after the president, or maybe just in charge for the public welfare business, or maybe to be
Islamic affairs in the case of Pak Maruf Amin.
Yes, and this is to be a question for Gibran for the next administration. Would be he would like to be a more expression in public spaces, or maybe just behind the curtail of the government. So that's the question. And yes, I think the friction can be normally happen. It is usual in every government. But how Pak Prabowo set up the code of conduct among the coalition and how to manage the friction, is the main key for the administration.
And that management of friction or possible conflict will hinge on the possibility that Pak Jokowi will have his own political party, right? Is that possibility? Is it possibility?
Well,
Like trying to get
yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no, because because Pak Jokowi has many options for the next political career. I mean, he would like to be cadre for PDIP, or maybe moving to the other parties, or maybe build his own party. Yeah, three options at least. We can see how Pak Jokowi would be making maneuver.
Okay.